Yeah, hey, drop.
Prime Coverage Sports Network. Real coverage, real conversation.
What is up? What is up? What is up, my brother? It is our first inaugural show. We are doing it on the big time. Man, I'm loving it. I can see that my brother got the camera there. He's starting to get yourself in some HD mode. And I present this my new camera as well, man. I'm out here stepping out now. I'm flossing,
There we go.
You see me in proper color and attire out there
in
the world, making sure they can check out my cowboy hat and all those good things. So, obviously this is the first of our beginning. This is Primetime Hoops with Kenny Casanova and your boy Marcus Mack. We obviously do our own shows during the week. I got Unfiltered Sports on Monday. Renegade Rundown drops on Tuesday. And brother Kenny Casanova is also talking college hoops as well on Thursday. It is a Friday. Friday, you guys talk college hoops.
Thursday. Yeah, we moved to Thursday.
Oh, it is Thursday.
Yeah.
It is okay. Perfect.
Yeah,
Thursday. So,
yep.
And for everybody out there, normally this is going to be on Saturday, as you see across the bottom there. As it says Saturday, but today's a Sunday special edition. We want to get it just kicked out. But yeah, this show will be every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Central. And then for our folks out on the West Coast, that is going to be 4 p.m. This show is just basically going to be a recap. We're just going to come on. We're going to recap every week what's been happening in the land of the NBA, give you guys some real coverage, some real prime time coverage, because once again, this is Prime Coverage Sports Network, and we're going to make sure that we give you guys nothing but the best. Kenny, what's the word? What's been kicking off this week in the NBA, my friend?
Man, a lot of seeding moves, like teams really, like you could tell we're getting to the end of the year because teams are locking in and they're playing these games hard. And I'm watching teams, especially out west. The East is kind of settled in a way. You got that play in, play out mark in the East that they're gonna have to work out between the Heat and the Raptors. But outside of that, everything else as far as the top four seedings is really solid. And so, but out west, 3 through 7 has to be decided. And I think these next couple weeks is going to be decided. As you've seen, the Los Angeles Lakers right now are the 3 seed. You got Houston at 4. You also got Nuggets at 5. You got Minnesota at 6. And then the Phoenix Suns are literally actually right there. They're about a game and a half outside of being outside that play-in. And you kind of want to avoid the play-in if you're one of these other teams, just because anything can happen in the play-in. You lose 2 games, you have 2 bad games, you're at home. So I think right now you're watching teams really lock down, buckle down, even on the defensive end. Offensively, we're watching special things from special players happen. Luka Doncic, dude, he's just, his last 5 games, they showed it. He had 44, 30, 31, 51, and then he just dropped a 31 piece last night with a triple dub as well. So we're watching these guys and they're carrying their teams, they're locking in. And it's just been a crazy week. Even the Nuggets, before this game, they were on a 2-game winning streak. They came back down from 20 against the Spurs. And so you're watching teams do what they have to do to get the proper seeding. And tiebreakers matter now. And so that's why this next couple games.
Tiebreakers matter now, huh?
Yes. And you watching these next couple games, like for the Lakers, they go on a 6-game road trip late in the season. And they got 2 against Houston. They win those 2 against Houston. Now you got the tiebreaker over Houston. You got to have it. If you're the Lakers, you actually need to win the 2 because that tiebreaker is going to matter because they're both right there. Houston's only a half game out from the 3 seed. And so you're watching that tug of war happen right now. And so it's an exciting time in the NBA, man. I'm excited. I'm happy to be talking about it with my main man, Mac. We are, we excited, man. So what you think to some of the contenders, you think this, for real, who can win the championship from each side? How many we got?
Listen, right now we're looking at a breakdown of where Detroit's sitting at 48 and 19.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at that final stretch, right?
Yeah.
Let me see. My math ain't what it once was, but if we add one more game on, then let's just say that was 20 losses, we'd be looking at now. What would that be? 60. That'd be 60 games they play now at this point.
Yep. Yeah,
so
somewhere like
they play
60, 70.
So what do they play? They play 70 now at this point.
They play 82, but right now like OKC's 53 and 15, so that's 68 right there. So they're on, they're getting to like that mark.
They're at the 70 mark. So like I said, I'm trying to do math on the fly, so I apologize out there to everyone. But no, so we're coming down. My point is that we're wrapping up. We're getting down to the final stretch now. We're down to the final 15 games. We're within the final 15 games. We're about to hit the final 10 this week coming up, and this is going to be an excellent recap next week to talk about what's going to be pretty much the final 10 starting to go into this next week. And what we're starting to see is that, from my opinion, we got the pretenders and the contenders. And my opinion, I just feel like in the East, it's really dictated by the top four. It's not open like it once was. I don't see it being a situation like how the Miami Heat were able to come as the 8th seed one year and get all the way to the finals. That's not going to happen. The bottom teams are nowhere near on the same level as the top four teams. Charlotte is a nice little up and coming story. It's been cute. Philadelphia is actually falling down. Philadelphia one time was in the top half, and now they're in a playing situation as Joel Embiid continues to waste away on the bench. The Atlanta Hawks have been a cute story, but let's be real, they're still miles away from where they need to be. Miami Heat always have been competitive, and you talk about teams that find themselves consistently in that mediocre range. I think that Miami has found themselves, but for some reason they don't get criticized because they play hard, and that's cute. That's a cute story. Bam Adebayo dropping 83. Salute to him. We can talk about that in a second, and I'll tell you my feelings because I know it's been a lot of venom and praise from both sides. But the bottom line is this year is that Miami's going nowhere. Toronto Raptors don't have not enough horses, and the Orlando Magic actually bound because Orlando Magic were like playing real mediocre basketball, and it surprised a lot of people considering that people had so much high praise for Banchero going into this season.
Yeah.
And I felt like he wasn't really stepping up along with the Desmond Bain trade. I think people expected them to be, at this where they're at, and about the 5th, seed. I don't think they're gonna push past Cleveland for the 4th, but I like where they're at, but they're not. They're still a player away from being a championship contender. And I think the top 4 teams in the East they have all 4 of them have the firepower. The connective of team play, and the horses. They've got the stars, the playmakers to be able to push them down the stretch. But Detroit, Boston, New York, Cleveland, any 4 of those teams can win. Each one has its own reasoning that they could say, oh, hey, why this team? For Detroit, for example, they've been playing excellent basketball all season. And this even goes back to last year. This isn't a team that just walked on the scene this year. They were playing really good basketball last year. And I believe they got some playoff experience last year. So this isn't like they're just this team that doesn't have any playoff experience whatsoever. The problem is that it's Cade Cunningham or bust. And it's worked. And it's worked a lot for the season because let's be honest, NBA players are lazy in this modern day NBA. And I know, you know what, if you don't want to hear it, then so be it. Come at me, because I'm Marcus Mack and I'm always going to keep it unfiltered. You know, and NBA players are lazy in the regular season, and a lot of times they low. And the Detroit Pistons took advantage of that situation because they play extremely hard. They don't low, and they have a really good team. So the teams that they were supposed to take care of business against, they took care of those teams, and now they sit with an excellent record heading into the playoffs. But I could also turn around and say, now with the return of Jason Tatum and the way the Boston Celtics have been playing, I think that the Boston Celtics could easily represent the East in the finals. But at the same time, is that enough time for Vucevic, Jason Tatum, all of them to really truly gel? You know, could someone like Big Cat and Jalen Brunson bounce them in the playoffs? Yeah, that could happen. Could the Cleveland Cavaliers bounce any one of those three teams in the playoffs? Yeah. And so that's why I say that it's going to come down to that four. And I would be very disappointed if any of them were to lose to a lower seed in the playoffs. I would be very shocked when the playoff route tree gets built and it's 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, and 4 versus 5. I expect all top 4 teams to win, and that's the way I want it to be. I want it to come down to those top 4 teams playing each other to see who's going to then represent the Eastern Conference Final and then ultimately in the finals. The West is different.
It's open.
Different, Ken. The West is 1 through 5, maybe even 6. I could easily see Anthony Edwards. There's something about this dude, man. Every time I think like, no, he's not ready. I know people want him to be the face of the NBA. He's not ready. He seems to find a way to surprise me and do some really big things. So, could he, the thing about it, you got to understand, the West, 4 through 6 they're tied currently right now. All of them have 41 wins, and the Lakers are sitting with 1 win above them. So realistically, they're not that separated. The real separation comes with when the Phoenix Suns hit, and we know that the Phoenix Suns are not a championship contending team whatsoever. That's what a real drop off happens. But 1 through 6. I mean, we all know that the Spurs are deadly. They are dangerous. Okay, so you got the championship pedigree. You got to remember that attrition is a part of this. Injuries are going to and can happen. So, I feel like that 1 through 6 in the West is a lot more open than the top 4 in the East.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think the West this year, more than ever, you can make a case for 1 through 6 of coming out of the West for sure. For me personally, I think that the good part about it, all these teams have to clash. So they all got to play each other. And so the good part is you will really start to find out who's the contenders and who's the pretenders. And for me in the West, man, I think people don't want to talk about it. People don't want to say it. But do we think that the Spurs is a year too early? And that's what I'm wondering, because to me, I said this. I said either the Spurs is going to lose in the first round.
Are the Spurs ready?
What you said?
I said, if you realistically ask, are the Spurs ready? The answer is no. But that doesn't mean that could not stop a finals run.
Yeah, and that's the thing right there that I was thinking, like, because the Spurs to me could upset everything. And the problem with the rest of the West is I don't know how they're going to be able to stop Wemby, because he's starting to get to that point to where you're watching him ascend, and he is really getting it so quick that now it's like, okay, it's just a matter of when, not even if, it's when he's going to go ahead and capture an MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year, and an NBA championship. I can see all 3 of those things happening in the next 5 years for him. And the question is it going to be this year for the Spurs? I think they're the ones I think that can upset everybody. But I also think that they can lose in the first round because of the inexperience. And so that's where I'm at with the Spurs. It's either I said it in matter of fact in one of our chats. I said either the Spurs is going to lose in the first round or are they going to the finals? Because either they're going to get it or they're not going to get it. And then if you look over in the East, I'm not going to lie to you. I think the Celtics can beat everybody. They match up good with everybody but the Knicks. I think the Knicks are
the Knicks are the team that can beat it. Like, and it's because, like I say, it's because of the fact of that Big Cat can get rolling and Boston isn't that physical down low. Whereas the Detroit is going to be very physical. They're going to bang. Big Cat has always shown that weakness to not want to bang, to not really want to battle with another big down low if they're getting physical with them.
That's what Vucevic is important.
And I think that Vucevic is important just for the simple fact they needed a big man, big body presence that could score and get some rebounds.
Correct.
They wasn't really worried. They opted not to really worry about him for defense. They've got that other kid that I really like on the team that's really athletic. What's his name? Very hard for me to pronounce. I'm gonna have to look this up real quick because I don't want to butcher this kid's name. And I was watching the game.
You talking number? Is it 85? Is that his number? He got a high number or something like that.
Is that? Hold on. Let me see. I just got to the roster right here. Let me see if I can. Here we go. Nemus Quinta.
Yeah. I know.
Quinta is filling that role more of what they'll need in terms of a big body dude that can play around the glass and for defense. But I think that's a good move that they could just bring him in spells off the bench because Vucevic was brought there really with the idea of they needed a big man that could stretch the floor, open and space it up for Brown and now Tatum, but also, could get rebounds. And that's something that Vucevic can do for you. He's not going to block shots. He's not a real defensive player. Well, a lot of people don't know about Vucevic. Vucevic is 6'9". A lot of people act like Vucevic is this.
That is shocking.
Vucevic is a forward. He's just thick. He's a forward in a center's body, and that's why he's able to play and bang with the centers of the game. But Vucevic, there's a reason he's not a rim protector. He's not that. I mean, like LeBron James is 6'8". You know what I mean? Way more athletic. So to expect Vucevic to be a rim protector, then you're ridiculous. But he does know how to position himself, throw his body, and he knows how to get rebounds. And like I say, stretching the floor, he's not afraid to finish around the cup. He does have moves around the basket. So Vucevic will play an important part for them. But I think a guy like Quinta will play an even bigger part for them against someone like Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that for sure because they need that. And that's the only reason why I think that's the only matchup that's like making me like, hold up. Because I think the Knicks have a problem with Detroit. And so I think that's where the matchup thing is so important.
Like who's gonna match up with who? Because you're right. That's to me, that's exactly where I see the Knicks crux. Like I said before, it's Detroit because Detroit's physical. They're gonna bang. And see, the thing is that if you take Big Cat out the solution, now it becomes just a Jalen Brunson show. Well, guess what? That matches up great for Detroit because now it's Cade Cunningham and Jalen Brunson. You know what I mean? And now the rest of your team, who's gonna have a better cast of role players around me at that point? And that's exactly but if Big Cat, if it's a 1-2 punch against Detroit, a true one, if Big Cat gets rolling with Brunson, Detroit doesn't have a 1-2 punch to answer back.
Yeah, and I think that's where Durden he gonna have to show in the playoffs that he can be that other guy because that's where he gonna make his money at. If he gonna make his money, it's gonna be playoff time because they do need that other guy. And I feel like out of everybody, he's probably the most capable because of him being a big and being an all-star, averaging 20 and 10. Like the kid can play, but it has to translate to NBA basketball, NBA playoff basketball, man. It has to.
Yeah.
Because in the playoffs, everybody knows everything slows down. It's not that up and down of court stuff no more. Everything is possession by possession.
Defense becomes more intense.
Yes, everything becomes more intense because can you stay locked in possession by possession to be able to help your team win the game? Because I'm not going to lie to you, man. Detroit scares me because I think against a team like Cleveland, they got a 1-2 punch for real. They got James Harden and Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough for them in that type of in a series. I think they're going to struggle, and it depends. Asar Thompson, I need to see it, man. You was the number 4 pick. I got to see something, man. I got to
so much growth from him, and I'm not sure if we're going to get there yet.
And that's what I'm wondering. Can he take that next step? Because you're watching his brother do it in Houston. Can he be the next one to make that next step? Because if they can get something from him, then Detroit I'm cool on. Oh yeah, Detroit be good.
That is true. So I have to ask you, and we won't spend a lot of time on this because I know that it's been talked about and I mean at this point in nauseum. But what did you think about Bam Adebayo's 83 points?
Well, let me be real. I am a resident forever Kobe Bryant fan. Okay, let's put that out there before I even get to it. I am a Kobe fan. But I'm not mad at Bam for scoring 83 points at all.
No.
I'm mad because the NBA is so soft that we have gotten to a point to where we allowed a team to literally intentional foul for no reason.
Well, that's where it gets murky, Kenny.
Yeah.
That's the part of it where it's like,
yeah,
it's like, okay, are we okay? We're just now at this point, we're doing this strictly for him. But here's my thing, and this is why it's weird for me in a lot of ways, because it was like your idea was that you wanted to outscore Kobe. But you had no interest in trying to outscore Wilt.
Wilt, yeah.
That was the part where, and see that's why I'm left. And that's why I don't care, because I didn't listen. And I hate to break every Kobe's fan heart. I didn't care when Kobe scored 81. What did it matter? It was against a garbage Toronto Raptors team that act like they didn't have enough sense to know how to double and triple team this guy. At a certain point, you're not shooting anymore. Anybody else can get a wide open shot on the team. You're not shooting anymore. Every time you come down the court, you're getting double teamed before you even catch the basketball at that point. And so, that's why I'm just kind of like, I just laugh at it, because I thought that Kobe Bryant's 81 was a little fake and manufactured down the stretch. Let's be honest. Down the stretch, the team is just handing him the ball. It wasn't even basketball at that point. At that point, it's just get out of the way and try to let Kobe score. Oh, let me set a screen. Oh, let me set another screen so Kobe can try to score. And so while everybody can torch Bam about how it went down, I think that neither one mattered to me, because Wilt Chamberlain still owns the record for 100 points. And if someone wants to say, well, no one's got video of that one, and we saw, so it still doesn't matter. You still didn't break the record that's in the NBA history book. So break that record, and then that's the game that I'll be about. You can score 95 points, and I'll be like, you know what? You were still 5 points short of Wilt Chamberlain. And so we're talking about literally number 2. We're having an argument and we're getting upset about who's number 2 in the history books of scoring the most points. Who cares? Like think about that. That's what we're talking. Like, hey man, the second best scorer. That are you kidding? And that's the part where I'm sick of it, and like I said,
Yeah.
we'll move on. Let's touch on your top 15
Well,
that you wanted to get into. I know you had a top 15 that you wanted to drop, and let's go ahead and drop that real fast before we get ready to close this excellent show out.
yeah. Well, I did a top 15 list. Um, on my other page. It's called Casanova Vibes. If you go there, you'll catch some more great content over there for sure. But I dropped the top 15 list where I ran down the list and everything, and I had, you know, everything, put together. And so just to give y'all an idea of the criteria of the list, I said how they translate from different eras, how you won your rings, legendary moments. I have accolades really low on here, and then I have how great were you at your peak.
Mm,
That's how I broke it down. I didn't.
I like
I'm
that.
Yeah, I didn't do it over a span of career because when you do it over a career, then that just comes with you being healthy and
It can get
not getting
convoluted. It can get convoluted. Exactly. So,
convoluted by that. Yeah. So when I went ahead and did that, I had Michael at 1, Kobe at 2, LeBron at 3. I had Kareem at 4, Magic at 5, Bill at 6,
who?
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell. Okay.
Bill Russell at 6. I had Tim Duncan at 7, Larry Bird at 8, Shaquille O'Neal at 9, Steph Curry at 10, Elijah One at 11, Will at 12. I have Nikola Jokic at 13. I have Giannis Antetokounmpo at 14 and Kevin Durant at 15. And an honorable mention was Dr. J, and because Dr. J was an innovator, and if it wasn't for Dr. J, we wouldn't have the smoothness of the basketball game. So I had to mention Dr. J too.
I actually really respect the heck out of that list. The only two that wouldn't make it that high for me is
Mm-hmm.
is Giannis and Nikola
Jokic.
Djokovic. Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Jokic. And I'll just real quick because I love both players, and the reason why they wouldn't make it that high for me, I'd
Mm-hmm.
probably throw a couple other people, like I would probably throw the big old Oscar Robertson.
I had him
In there.
written down too.
What's
Yeah.
up?
I had him written down. Big O was like
Yeah.
I did a whole bunch of players. He was written down.
I would probably throw Big O in there. And the
Yeah.
only reason why is because I just feel like Giannis' overall game is never been complete. And I think if he had an overall game more complete, then I'd be okay with that. I think
Mhm.
that, and the fact of showing, how he's only had the one championship, and the way I look at his career, probably not going to have enough. I would just like I said, that lack of overall game, I would
Mhm.
maybe put Big O above him, and Jokic. I do like it. And he would be in my top 20. I
Gotcha.
do like Jokic. Like I say, he would be in my top 20,
Mhm.
but I, like I would probably go with Dave Thompson over him. I'd
Okay.
probably go with Dave Thompson over him, and but that'd be it. But everybody else, I agree. And like I say, I know that there's a lot of KD. A lot of people are probably gonna feel like that I don't like KD because I know we've had some KD
Yeah.
issues,
And that's
but the case. I actually agree with KD right where he's at on that list. I
yeah.
think KD is a top 15 player of all time. But when people start trying to put him in top 5 or something, it's like, okay, now you're just being
Yeah,
ridiculous.
now you're doing too much. Yeah.
But I definitely could live. I live with that list, and like I say, I actually like that. That's a really, really good list, my brother. Make sure you post that out there for everyone can talk and debate on that.
Yeah.
And see how they feel, because that was an excellent list.
Yeah. The pushback I was getting was from the KD thing. That was
Well,
the pushback I was getting.
you know what? Who cares? And you know what? I respect that you had the guts to put Kobe over LeBron, because a lot of people have
Mhm.
really sold this narrative that LeBron is the second greatest player of all time. It's not. Some people want to say he's the greatest, and I have to agree with you. I don't think that he was better than Kobe. He got close, but I think Kobe overall was still at the end a more dominant basketball player. But some kind of a way he has sold himself on his longevity, and that's why I'm glad you took that out of the equation and talked about your biggest moments. Kenny, this has been a great inaugural show. Thank all of our viewers out there. If you missed it, obviously it's going to be on the podcast as well. Come and check us out next week. It's going to be next Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central, and then out on the West Coast, 4 p.m. This is Prime Time Hoops with your boy Marcus Mack and Kenny Casanova. Man, awesome show, brother. Thank you for joining, man. Let's do it again.
Yep, let's get to it, man. I'm excited, ready to see what happens with this week of basketball, man.
We're getting down to the thick of things, and then we're gonna hit the playoffs. Ooh, I'm ready.
Can't wait.
All right, my bros.
All righty.
Yeah, hey, drop.
Prime Coverage Sports Network. Real coverage, real conversation.